Today I'm going to walk through my Evaluator Program Description, or EPD, for a pilot educational technology program that I am using called ClassBank here at University View Academy. In this presentation, I'm going to focus on defining the evaluation problem, explaining why the evaluation is needed, and then share the evaluation questions that will guide future decisions. I'm intentionally using concepts from our course readings, especially the needs assessment and root cause analysis. University View is a fully online learning environment, so instruction happens both asynchronously and synchronously. The students are enrolled and counted present, but engagement can look very different from student to student. ClassBank is currently being piloted in my classroom as a tool to help support engagement, collaboration, peer feedback, and participation in an online setting. The problem is the students at University View Academy demonstrate inconsistent engagement in asynchronous as well as synchronous lessons. There is limited participation, interaction, and whole child connection, despite being counted present or in attendance at University View Academy. The main issue I'm looking at is inconsistent student engagement. While students may attend the lessons, many are not actively engaging with the content, and they're not interacting with their peers or participating during their live instruction. Another part of the issue is the whole child engagement. In an online environment, it can be difficult for students to feel seen, valued, or even comfortable with taking learning risks, especially students who are more reluctant or unsure of their understanding. When using a needs assessment lens from our readings, this issue can really be understood as a gap between the current conditions and what we want learning to look like. So due to our flexibility model here at UVA, right now students are not required to engage in asynchronous lessons to be considered in attendance. And participation during synchronous lessons can't be graded, only assigned work. So this really limits how much we can require or reinforce participation. Ideally, we want students actively engaged in our asynchronous lessons, not just completing the assignments. We also want them participating meaningfully during our synchronous instruction. We want them collaborating with peers, and we want them to feel supported as whole learners in this online learning environment. Instead of treating disengagement or low engagement as the problem, I decided to use this root cause analysis to look at what might be contributing to it. This aligns with the readings that emphasize the difference between symptoms versus underlying causes. So from this perspective, low engagement is the symptom, and some of the underlying causes include policy and accountability constraints, challenges with the online learning environment, limited feedback or recognition of effort, and then whole child factors also play a role here, such as students not consistently feeling seen or valued, or even students just being hesitant to participate because they're afraid of being wrong. So this root cause analysis shows that low engagement is not due to student motivation alone, but to system level factors including attendance policies, instructional structures, limited feedback loops, and whole child considerations. So these factors interact to reduce meaningful participation and increase reluctance for students to take those academic risks. It's important to note that the ClassBank pilot began before a formal needs assessment was conducted. I was asked to pilot this program as part of an instructional initiative, and so it's not clear whether a structured needs assessment happened at the organizational level. So as our readings point out, evaluators are often brought into initiatives after implementation has already started. So this EPD helps for me to clarify the evaluation focus retroactively and provides a framework for thinking more intentionally about what questions need to be answered before moving forward. Initially, engagement appeared to be a student participation issue. However, the RCA has helped reframe this as a system and design issue. So the next step is to collect targeted data aligned to these causes so that we can determine where ClassBank has the strongest impact. Since the pilot began, I've seen some potential benefits of ClassBank, especially in creating additional opportunities for participation, collaboration, and peer feedback. However, these observations are informal and anecdotal. So rather than relying on personal impressions, this EPT will help me move forward towards a more structured, informed evaluation approach. So my goal here is to be able to provide meaningful feedback to our administrators when the decisions are made about whether the program should continue and expand. Based on the needs assessment and root cause analysis, I developed 4 evaluation questions to guide future evaluation efforts. First, to what extent does the ClassBank pilot have the potential to increase student engagement in asynchronous and synchronous learning environments? Second, to what extent does ClassBank support collaboration and peer-to-peer feedback during learning activities? Third, how does ClassBank support student interaction during synchronous instruction, including engagement with Nearpod activities? And finally, to what extent does ClassBank support whole child engagement by helping students feel seen, valued, and safe to take those academic risks online? These evaluation questions are intentionally aligned with the program goals. Each question directly connects to a specific goal related to engagement, collaboration, interaction, or whole child support. This alignment is important because it ensures that future data collection stays focused on what the program is actually intended to address, and that findings can be used to support instructional and administrative decision-making. The primary audiences for this evaluation include students, learning coaches, teachers, and administrators. This slide connects what we're doing with ClassBank to what I would expect to see if the program is addressing the engagement issues I identified earlier. So the main activities include using ClassBank to create more structured participation, supporting peer-to-peer feedback, and encouraging interaction during synchronous lessons. These activities were chosen because they directly address root causes like limited accountability, inconsistent participation structures, and challenges with whole child engagement. Based on these activities, I would expect to see increased student engagement, stronger collaboration, and students feeling more comfortable participating. At this stage, the indicators are conceptual and include participation frequency, peer feedback quality, and student perceptions of engagement belonging, maybe through a survey. So to wrap up, this Evaluator Program Description uses concepts from our course readings so that we can clearly define the evaluation problem, explore what's contributing to it, and then establish the evaluation questions that will guide future decisions. So by focusing on evaluation planning rather than outcomes at this stage, this EPD sets the foundation for future evaluation and informed decision-making about the ClassBank pilot. Here on this slide, you can find the resources and references for this EPD and how it's grounded in our course readings on the needs assessment, the root cause analysis, and evaluation planning, especially from the work of Spector and Yin. It's also informed by instructional context here at University View Academy and my experience piloting the ClassBank program. Thank you for the time that you took to listen to this presentation, and I look forward to your feedback.